Welcome back. The Trump administration announcing several more measures today to protect Americans economically.
Americans are getting an extra 3 months to file their taxes amid the coronavirus outbreak. President Trump announced the tax deadline is now July 15th. He says Americans who are owed refunds should still file now to get their money to help through these tough economic times. This new deadline applies only to federal tax income payments. Governor Eric Holcomb said yesterday the state tax filing was pushed back to July 15th as well. The Trump administration will also allow student loan borrowers to suspend their payments without penalty for the next 60 days.
The president announcing earlier this week that we had waived interest on federal student loans until further notice. Now, this announcement comes after Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer rolled out legislation that would cancel student loan payments for the duration of the coronavirus national emergency. That plan would require Congress to authorize the Department of Education to make monthly loan payments on behalf of the borrowers. Well, the U.S. is also limiting non-essential travel to and from Mexico.
Both countries are agreeing to limit cross-border travel to stop the spread of the coronavirus. The Department of Homeland Security says the new measure will not impact trade or commerce. The agency says it is also suspending entry of all migrants seeking to enter the U.S. without proper documentation. That means migrants who cross unlawfully will be immediately sent back to their country of origin. The administration is also limiting travel between the U.S. and Canada.
Healthcare workers across America and the world now taking to social media to show the grim reality of the coronavirus pandemic. Meredith Wood has the latest.
Hashtag GetMePPE is trending because it's what healthcare workers pleading for more supplies to combat coronavirus are using on social media to get the word out and get their stories heard. One doctor delivering a chilling message on Twitter. NYC mother of two, double frontline MD couple. Don't make us orphan our two toddlers, running out of masks, eye protection, and gloves at work. Medical teams facing thousands of cases in America's hardest hit state. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo made a plea to any company that might have the capabilities to make personal protective equipment.
They're not complicated. A mask is not a complicated item to make. A PPE gown is not a complicated item. Gloves, nitrile gloves, are not a complicated item. If you can make them, we will give you funding to do it.
The White House Coronavirus Task Force says they are hearing healthcare workers' cries.
The president worked with the Congress to make industrial masks fully available for hospitals to be able to purchase, to be able to use as protective equipment. We're more encouraged than ever about the availability of those important N95 masks to our healthcare facilities. And over this weekend, we'll be announcing a major procurement from the federal government of N95 masks as well.
I'm Meredith Wood reporting.
Stocks sank to their worst week since the financial crisis of 2008. Traders went into full retreat out of fear that the coronavirus will plunge the U.S. into recession. The Dow dropped more than 900 points, extending their weekly loss to 17%. The price of U.S. crude oil also took another nosedive as investors anticipate a sharp drop in demand. 4 states are now ordering non-essential workers to completely stay home.
We're talking about people in California, Illinois, New York, and now Connecticut under orders to stay home. This is more than 70 million Americans that we're talking about. People will be allowed to venture out only for essential activities and to places like grocery stores, pharmacies, takeout and delivery restaurants, gas stations, and banks.
I don't believe that the people of California need to be told through law enforcement that it's appropriate just to home isolate. You can still take your kids outside practicing common sense and social distancing.
President Trump has praised California and New York's plans to have their populations shelter in place, but he also says that he does not think a federal lockdown will be needed. 2 Illinois officials tell AP the governor will order residents to stay home to curb the spread of the coronavirus as well.
In the midst of the pandemic, a group of bipartisan senators are racing to approve a stimulus package aimed at helping Americans.
Whitney Wild is in Washington tonight as Congress attempts to make a deal.
There is new reporting that a deal could be reached as soon as tonight, which means there could be a vote as soon as Monday on this crucial stimulus plan.
The coronavirus crisis is impacting all Americans, including members of Congress. Some remain in quarantine after testing positive for COVID-19.
The temperature about 103, and it feels like I have a belt around my lungs.
As others try to figure out how to maintain social distance in tight quarters on Capitol Hill.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It looks like we're breaking that rule right here on the floor of the Senate.
And work to provide critical relief for those affected by the virus. Already 2 bills passed through the House in just 2 weeks. But that lightning-fast legislative pace now looks like a slow crawl as the Senate takes on a $1 trillion stimulus plan.
We need to push immediate relief to Americans. We need to keep Americans employed as much as possible.
The Senate Republican proposal crafted earlier this week includes direct payments to Americans, relief to airlines and other distressed industries, small business loans, and business tax breaks. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell defended the decision to leave out Democrats from the initial discussions.
This is the quickest way to get it done.
But as negotiations with Senate Democrats began, both sides of the aisle stretched far apart.
We need help with paid family leave and paid sick leave. Workers need it.
In the midst of tough conversations, McConnell remains optimistic about the process moving forward.
The crisis is moving fast. The Senate is here, we are working, and we are going to deliver.
The deadline to ensure that a vote happens Monday is midnight tonight. Congress knows there is a lot of work to do and no time to waste. In Washington, Whitney Wild, WISH TV News 8.